Hey, this is Rebecca from National Garden Service, and thank you for joining me. Just want to go over a few of the changes you're going to see in the coming days. Pest and disease damage as a shrink report reason is being changed to simply pest damage. We're making this change for a couple of reasons, and the first is to generate the most accurate, helpful information for our grower partners. We're eliminating the disease designation from the shrink report process after plants have been on the porch for more than 48 hours. So that means only plants with pests will qualify to be disposed of with the reason of pest damage. The live goods merchandiser should not have to be responsible for determining if a plant is past prime due to a disease process that began on the porch. When this happens, they just simply need to select plant past its prime or tired product for the shrink reason. Now, moving forward, disease issues will be limited to what can be detected at the time of arrival, and those should be classified as arrived with pest or disease damage. And this should only be used within 48 hours of arrival. Too often, plants past prime due to improper care or conditions are being disposed of as diseased. And this creates a misleading report to the grower and raises false red flags to Kroger leadership. Pests or the damage from pests must be clearly shown in the shrink report mission photos. The following slides do not meet the criteria for pest damage shrink report mission reason and show why this change is necessary. Plants shown here are clearly past prime. That we can say with all confidence. The reason for them being past prime is not something that we can confidently and accurately speak to. So we need to stop using these kinds of photos and this type of reasoning as a disease when we dispose of plants in this condition. There are several best practices that will help prolong plants that are in prime condition on the porch. First and most important is proper watering practices. Be sure that you're watching the placement of the hose, delivering the correct amount of water for the plant type, and keep a systematic pattern as you're watering to minimize the risk of missing plants. Always be sure you're pouring off any standing water from the deco pots. Proper deadheading is essential because when you're just removing the bloom, it's not enough to keep the plant in prime condition. Remove spent blooms as close to the main stem as possible. And if you're in question, you can always go to the plant care guide in the box files, and you can find that under the link tab and places in GoSpotCheck. The seed bearing portion of the flower is often left behind, and this causes extreme stress, reducing vigor and slowing down the reblooming process. There should never be sticks poking out of the plant where a bloom has been removed and the bare stem has been left behind. So always be sure that you're getting down in deep into the plant to take that stem from the flower off. Also, if you're keeping the pots clean and clear of plant and debris and weeds, this is going to go a long way to help get rid of pests and disease invitations. So be sure that the area around and under the benches is clean as well, because it is an absolute breeding ground for a host of pests and diseases. Be sure that you're spacing whenever possible for appropriate airflow for the plants. So these tips are just a few things that you can do to help keep your porch in tip-top shape, keep our reporting as accurate and correct as possible, and take a little stress off of the merchandiser to be sure that they're not trying to speak to disease processes for the growers. Thanks for joining me.